Hello and welcome to Africa in View. My name is Nyamgul Agaje. And it's another very lovely day, and we thank God for small messes. But I'm here with my team this morning, or today, anytime that you're watching us from, because you could be watching from the UK or America or any other place that doesn't have the same time zone with us. So from here, it could be good morning. From another place, it could be good afternoon. Whatever it is, we're glad to have you. And my team.
Hi, my name is Agogo Ayanago, and I'm glad to be here. And knowing that I will not be asked, my week went well. I had fun. I had a fun Easter. So that those that will not ask me, I've already answered.
All right. This is Olamide Onka. It's a pleasure to be here. Yamgo.
He wasn't going to ask me how
I wasn't going to. Yeah. Calm down, Agogo. You need to get Ethiopia, okay? First, Agogo, how are you doing?
See?
I think
you got it right. You got it right. Thank you. I'm doing great.
How are you doing?
I'm fine. Thank you.
Yamgo, how about you? How are you doing too?
As an elder,
yes,
everything is good. You wake up every morning, you're just thankful to God that you made it through another 24 hours. So everything for me is always good.
And you can see what I cannot see climbing a tree. Remember, add that onto it.
Well, I don't know. A lot of Gen Z people and people younger think that they're wiser than we are because they have the internet and all that. So
give us wisdom of the day.
I don't know. I don't know where you're talking from.
Just wisdom.
Just drop small
nuggets.
Drop small.
Okay.
Small.
Well, everybody should know that sometimes when you see someone and you think that they are not ambitious enough, it's because they have already arrived where you are going to get to in 70 years' time.
That's
as simple as that.
That we can manage that. We hold that.
Yeah.
I'm lost. I don't know.
You're
what
lost
you mean,
because you don't understand.
Yeah,
when you get to my age, you'll begin to find out that the things that you spent your time pursuing may not be the necessary things that you need when you're studying for the finals. When you're getting closer and closer to where you return
Don't leave me.
Wow.
Okay, well, it's not about wisdom today. It's about the fact that we're grateful for this time. Today is the best day of our lives, and that's how it always is. That's why it's called the present. It's a present that is given to you, and you make the best out of it. We're going to be looking at sundry other issues. We'll be looking especially at democracy in Africa, whether it's working for us or it's not working. We'll take some countries and show you what is happening in those countries as best we could. And then we'll leave it to you to judge whether the democracy we're finding in Africa is really working or whether it is not working or there's something else that we need to do. Anyway, we also are going to bring you an insight into the Lekki Conservation Society, that's what they call it. Yes, Conservation Centre, LCC, here in Lagos State. And in case you're in Lagos, don't think that the Lagos life is all about nightlife. You can also have life with nature, and you are going to be grateful that you did that. So, first of all, we'll take the news, and after that, we'll continue with others. Stay with us.
The federal government, through the Presidential Initiative for Unlocking the Healthcare Value Chain, PVAC, has signed an MOU with Empower School of Health, Geneva, to establish a pharmaceutical manufacturing training academy in Nigeria. The move supports Nigeria's target to produce 70% of its pharmaceuticals by 2030 and 60% of its vaccines by 2040. With Professor Muhammadu Pate stressing the need for skilled local talent to drive this transformation. Nigeria's federal government is seeking $23.2 billion to achieve universal electricity access within the next 5 to 10 years, targeting 120 million people across 22 million households. The Rural Electrification Agency says $14.1 billion is needed upfront, with funding commitments already made by FCMB and Stanbic IBTC, while additional support is expected from the World Bank, AFDB, and JICA under programs like theirs, which aims to reach 17.5 million Nigerians through mini-grids and solar home systems. The 10th Senate has postponed its resumption from April 29, 2025 to May 6, 2025, citing the International Workers' Day holiday and the need for senators to focus on constituency engagements. The change was announced in a memo signed by Senate Clerk Andrew Ogbonna Nwoba, addressing all senators. The federal government will fully close the Ijora Bridge in Lagos from April 27, 2025 for urgent repairs, including the replacement of approximately 50 defective bearings under the deck. Federal Controller of Works, Mrs. Olukorede Kesha, said the closure, though disruptive, is essential for safety, with diversions planned via 7-Up roundabout and Costain through Igomu to manage traffic. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited reduced petrol prices to 880 naira per litre in Lagos and 935 naira in Abuja, prompting losses for independent marketers. This follows a similar cut by Dangote Refinery, with its partners directed to sell between 890 naira and 920 naira, sparking a fresh price war between two giants. Governors Hyacinth Alaya of Benue and Caleb Mufwang of Plateau have sounded the alarm over deadly attacks by killer herdsmen and bandits, urging crucial federal government intervention. Alaya described Benue as under siege with over 72 killed in recent attacks, while Mufwang revealed that bandits have taken over grazing reserves and forests across Plateau, killing residents and seizing lands. Protests erupted in Jos, Plateau State on Monday over the persistent killings of locals by suspected Fulani militants, with over 100 people reportedly killed in Bokos and Bassa local government areas in just 2 weeks. Led by Christian leaders including CAN chairman Reverend Polycarp Lubo, demonstrators marched towards the Rayfield Government House, demanding urgent government intervention. Kano State is set to sign landmark MOUs with Morocco on renewable energy, agriculture, and commerce, following a high-level investment mission led by Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf. A key highlight is a proposed partnership with Masin, Morocco's top solar agency, to support Kano's 2,000 megawatt solar light-up Kano initiative, modeled after Morocco's 500 megawatt Ouarzazate solar project.
Well, glad to know you're still there. You've seen what the news items were, the headlines that caught our fancy in the course of the last, few days. I don't know which one really pricked you when you were looking at them. Do I start with the lady?
The solar.
Solar.
As in, that's Nigeria is a Nollywood movie. Every day there is a new story and a new movie to be acted. Now, the federal government wants to partner with banks to get money to increase power supply in Nigeria and also to bring in solar. This same federal government just announced recently that they want to stop importation of solar panels into Nigeria. The same federal government just got approved 20 billion or 10 billion.
10 billion.
To fix solar panels in Aso Rock. So now, I am confused in diverse ways.
Because the electricity cost is too high.
It's too high.
I was expecting that.
Yeah, because the electricity cost is too high. The same electricity costs that we, the petty traders, are paying for and have been crying that it's too high, and the same federal government did not listen to us. The same electricity tariff that was increased how many folds or overnight. In fact, they threw people into band A, band Y, band Q, and band aid, according to some people. Rubber band. Yeah. Me, I don't think I'm in any band.
Yeah,
because
rubber band. You're part
if
of
it comes, it comes. If it doesn't come, it doesn't come. So now the whole thing is looking like we are just, these people are toying with us because you don't want solar panels. You are stopping the importation. You are looking for banks to finance solar, partly solar power production. At the same time, you are fixing solar in Aso Rock. Yeah, which way forward, Nigeria?
It's not bad to fix solar in Aso Rock.
I still feel like we have to look at two sides of the story. Maybe the federal government are trying to save costs that would, in the long run, benefit Nigerians, because if you spend just one tranche of money to solve the issue of electricity, recurrent expenditure, like, the electricity payment, the electricity bill payment, that money could also be reinvested. I'm just trying to look at another.
No, you're just trying not to make me angry. No, you're just trying not to make me angry. Because that same money that they are looking for to do all first of all, why are we not having enough electricity in Nigeria?
Look.
They are saying that they want to add 700 megawatts to our
let him land.
I don't know, he's trying to test, you want to test my patience, right? I don't understand.
So I'm just saying that if they reinvest that money, maybe they'll finally reduce the
the electricity tariff.
Now. I go.
I am angry because I don't have any band. I don't see light.
Off a mic.
See. Go ahead.
So I feel like, look, it's a case of, how would I put it now? Not being able to take what you're giving to the people. For me, that's how I see it.
Yeah.
I was being actually sarcastic of them. I know you're nodding your head in agreement. Calm down. So, because people are obviously complaining about the, issue of increased electricity bill, the tariff, but I think if normal people are in band A, don't forget, Aso Rock will be in band A plus. So it's going to be 24-hour supply worth of light.
I thought you were going to say abnormal people will be on band on A plus.
That's what I'm saying. So obviously you can understand their complaints and the reason why they're exploring alternative solutions.
Well, as a person, I don't understand their complaints because the GENCOs, the DISCOs, and all the people relevant to the electricity sector are complaining that people are owing them. Yeah. And if you check the money that is being owed to these companies, the bulk of it comes from federal parastatals.
Most of the time.
Aso Rock just paid more than 300 million naira that they were owing. Aso Rock was owing.
Yeah.
If you and I owe, we cannot even owe because you are.
Right now.
Yeah, they cut it immediately. So we can't owe. But they are the ones that are owing, and they're telling us that they need about, the minister said they need about $16 trillion or something like that to be able to fix the electricity problems in Nigeria. So you need that money. Federal government is not paying up. Nothing is being done. And you're trying to go to the banks and other people to finance it.
Do you remember the military issue that happened in Ikeja?
Yes. Now where they went
do you remember the
events to beat them up?
Yes.
Yeah. Also, teaching hospital in Ibadan, they just restored their lights.
Yeah. After almost 4 months, or 5 months.
5 or 6 months, they didn't have a power supply because of the fact that they were still owing. So I'm sure this is not a situation that is new to federal government per state house, like you said. They will always owe. And obviously, they are a service provider. They are service providers, basically. So it's normal for you to have, all of these things. They'll owe you. But the point is, if you're making budgetary allocations or you're doing your annual budgets, don't they factor this thing?
I wanted to ask.
Well, I don't think the federal government is deliberate about all these things.
That's what I'm saying as well.
What they're deliberate about is to make money. For instance, something that is not connected, but let me just tell you how they make the money. There's a highway from Cairo, Egypt to South Africa. It costs less than, the cost from Lagos to Calabar highway, the cost of that road is about 8 times more than the one from Cairo to South Africa. Can you just imagine that?
Are you serious?
Go and Google it and find out. It's passing through at least how many countries? At least 5 countries or more. From the apex of Africa to the bottom of Africa.
Wow.
It's costing less than Less than
Calabar,
10%.
Lagos.
Yes, it's costing more than it's less than the Calabar Lagos.
Yeah,
highway.
they're making money
In
for themselves.
defense, they might
So they will
say-
tell you that we don't have money to do what we're supposed to
In
do.
defense, they might say it's because they're using concrete for the road.
What are they using?
What?
Concrete. Maybe not
What is Egypt
asphalt.
using?
Maybe concrete. That's what I'm
Do
saying.
you think that the road from Cairo to South Africa will last less than the one from Lagos to Calabar?
Mm.
Do you think that? It's not possible.
It's actually not. I agree with you.
Okay. Anyway, if we dwell on this, it will just anger us more. But the thing is, our leaders need to be deliberate about things that will benefit everybody else. It's not that, because if you want to do a solar system or something, you should start thinking about how Nigeria is going to go solar.
I agree.
How Nigeria is going to
the
have
whole
electricity.
nation, the whole holistic approach,
Not Aso Rock. And if it starts with Aso Rock, there's a tendency that everybody else will be forgotten. And that is not good for us.
Okay.
But we will not have time to discuss other things. But like I said, leaders should sit up and be deliberate about policies that will benefit the people. We'll take a short break. And when we return, we'll be looking at whether democracy is really working in Africa or not. Stay with us. Thanks for staying with us. It's now time to go to our major topic for today. And it's a simple question. Is democracy working or it's not? The democracy as we see it in Africa, is it working or is not? Eventually, I'll have to ask my people what they feel about the democracy in Africa right now. Let me start with Olamide.
Yeah. Okay, for me, I feel, I've always said it. If you remember the last episode of this same show, I said that this is a system of government that was imposed on Nigeria and by extension, Africans. Democracy is a philosophy of the West that doesn't necessarily align with, the operations of the African society.
Democracy as we see it now.
As it is
Because-
in Africa. Because actually the concept of democracy, look at it, it's actually supposed to be a people form of government. But you look at the bourgeois in Nigeria and you look at the bourgeois in Africa, they have more or less redefined democracy in such a way that they control the whole essence of democracy. Democracy these days has now become a capitalist form of government. Democracy has become a government of those who have resources calling the shots. They can buy the people's mandate. They can take the people's mandate because they can, not because the people's mandate and their will is supreme,
Same.
as it's supposed to be the case in an actual democratic system of government. So for me, I don't think Africa is ripe for democracy. I don't think this is a system of government that we should also embrace in Africa. I've been saying this and I'll keep saying it. That's my take.
But to correct one thing, not necessarily to correct, but to contribute to what you have said.
Yeah.
Democracy has always been in Africa. Our bone of contention is whether the democracy brought by the whites is what we should practice. For instance, in Igbo land, everything was controlled by the elders. They asked the opinion of the village people. Everybody contributes. This is what should be done. That's why they had village meetings.
Yeah.
That's why they had all those
Square, the
yes,
market
market
square,
square and all that. So people came together. In the Yoruba land, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't know about the North because they always had one supreme leader that will dictate to them whatever they want to do. Go and fight, and they go and fight. Go and do this, they go and do. That's what I've heard. I don't know. I've never lived there. But I know that down south, in the east, in the west, the south, there was some form of democracy. What we are fighting now, what we are talking about now, is the kind of democracy brought by the West, which, like you've said, is like a capitalist form of government, which is not right for the African people.
I agree, and I think we're saying the same thing. Look, because what we're seeing more or less is more of a capitalist democratic system. Now, the reason why I say capitalist democratic system, it's obvious because if you want to actually practice the real tenets of democracy, in the normal definition of democracy, you say it is the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. And when you're talking about the people, in the essence, you're talking about the people from both top to the bottom. So that means equality. Equality in say, equality in their mandate, equality in their expressions. But look at what happens in Africa. You can have one man whom the people obviously do not want to be in the power because this man was not elected by the people. This man will steal it. He will become violent and take it by force. That's not democracy. That's because this man has the resources to do so. That's why I say it's a capitalist democratic system that we have in Africa.
For me, democracy really is supposed to be for the people, by the people, and of the people. Then my question comes, who exactly are the people that this democracy is for? Because looking at it, African democracy is democracy for the elite, of the elite, and by the elites, not the people. Because let's look at Nigeria now. I just saw that Lagos State government. I'm not. I have a point.
No, I know. Just don't say African democracy because what we're discussing now is not African democracy. So if you say it, people might misunderstand.
Yes.
We've talked about the kind of democracy we
Africa
had, but this one that is happening here is at best a civil rule, which is different from democracy. Civil rule is not necessarily democracy, and military rule is not necessarily a dictatorship, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, some people will not agree to that. But then, getting back to my point.
Well,
why I say it's for the elite, by the elite and all that. I just saw now that they've brought out form for local government chairman, I think in Lagos State, and it's 5.5 million. So definitely it's for the elite, by the elite and of the elite. I mean, presidential nomination form is how much? 25 million. How many people can afford 25 million? So these people are not doing government for us. They're not doing democracy for us, the people. They're just there doing their own thing and enjoying themselves, forgetting every other person involved. The Westerners brought in their democracy, took off everything that made us African in rulership, and made sure they fostered their own way of life and democracy on us by force. Because back then, you see, the Jaja of Opobos, they were fighting for something. If we want to look at it from that angle, that is someone that we could have said is a king. Let's say, for example, Benin Kingdom. That was a form of, I think I should just use the word democracy, but it was a form of government. Now, these people come in, look at it, oh, you cannot rule yourself. No, a black man cannot rule himself. Why would you have this? Destroy it. See, this is the best way to do it. Let me tell you. You don't understand. How can you say, no, you don't. Well, now,
come on, you're still in the studio.
It gets me really, really angry when I say that we're supposed to practice democracy in Africa. Now, how many countries in Africa actually are under democratic rule?
Okay.
We have the Paul Bias of Cameroon that were there, that's been there for many years.
Still there.
We have democracy that's supposed to be 4-year term for 2 tenures. We have someone ruling for almost 50 years and it is labeled democracy. We have someone who ruled, died, his son took over, and we say it's a democracy.
Maybe the people love them.
It's a beloved family. Did you ask the people? Did you ask the people? Really, has anybody gone there to actually ask the people if it is what they want?
No.
Because sometimes you hear some of these people complain that they are tired of these old men. Imagine someone, wasn't a Pobia that was in a place I was at, oh, what am I doing here? Where am I? What am I supposed to say? Oh, are we supposed to be here? You and I in our right minds, would we want someone like that to be our elected president?
But to play the devil's advocate, even if Paul Biya were a king, like the African tradition had those days, no matter how old he got, he would still be king until he died.
The point is this. Now, the people, his people, understands that this is our tradition. This is our leader. So until he dies, he is who the people will look up to. It wasn't forced on them. And before he dies, the people already know the next person on that throne.
That's a very good.
You know, in these communities, it's family to family to family. So they know that after this family's rule, this is the next family that will rule. There's no fight about it. We already know the only fight might come from who in the family is going to be on the throne. But the whole community knows that it is this family. In my place now, we know that, oh, once the king dies, it's this family's turn. it got to my family's turn too. Now we know if this person that, the next family is that person. Your own, go and fight who is going to be there. But the whole community knows that. So there's no fight. When they talk about the king, they say, now that family now. And it was working.
Yeah.
It worked. That's the point. It worked. There was peace because nobody was fighting each other to say,
as far
I
as I'm
want to take over the
concerned,
throne.
it's still a democracy because
That is all, that's what I'm saying.
The people give those families
The
right
mandates
to be royal
exactly.
families.
Now compare it to our federal governments in Africa. Our government in
Which
Africa.
they say anybody
How many
can
of
be
the people
royalty.
gave them that power to be there? Our mandate in our president was stolen. So
So for me, I would say for Nigeria, what best describes what we're practicing is oligarchy. Look at it.
sure.
Nothing best describes what we're witnessing in Nigeria and most of African countries is oligarchy. Because you have a few people, because they have the resources, they have the power, they have the wealth, they can control. In fact, they say someone who controls the factors of labor, the person is like the king over all.
Yeah.
So if you have capital, you have the thugs, you have the people, you have the money to buy whatever it is you want to buy, you can change the system. Come on, that's what we're witnessing in Africa. This is very obvious. That's why I'm saying, look, what happened to the monarchical system?
Yeah.
What happened to it? Because if we really practice the monarchical system, there's some form of sanity in the system.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike when you're practicing an ideology that you don't even fully understand. This is an ideology of the West on Africans. Africans just basically, look, this democracy, come on, pick it up, and then they're doing it. Some of them they don't even understand how it works. You look at those in the House of Assembly. You look at representatives, so they say elected by the people. Do they even understand that they are there to represent the people? Do they put the interest of the people in their heart? Does it supersede their personal interest? So these are things that you have to look. Both the leaders, the people, they don't even understand the concept. That's where I'm just going to.
Democracy, as I've always said, democracy is about the people. Whether they choose a king to be there forever or they want to be rotating among themselves or anyhow, but let it be the choice of the people. And a key thing about democracy is let the people have their voice. That is democracy, not road building. I've always said that.
Not infrastructure.
No. People now say dividends of democracy. They have given us a bridge and all that. This democracy that we're practicing in Africa, for instance, is not the same democracy that we have in Britain.
Yes.
Because they have a monarch, and then they still have the prime minister and all that, which means there is some kind of checks and balance in that kind of a place. There's not the same thing we have in Saudi Arabia and other places that they have kings that they go to. So if one system is not working, then we should try another thing, as far as I'm concerned. The youngest rulers in Africa are, unfortunately, those that plotted coup and then became
look at what they're doing.
military
And they are
rulers.
doing
And now,
fantastic.
without mincing words, they are doing really well.
Yeah.
Look at what they're doing.
But that is not, quote and unquote, a democracy. So what is working for us? We need something, a system of government that is working for us, not necessarily a system of government that involves an election that we don't even believe in. That's the simple truth about it. If the people are given a voice, no matter who is at the top, then it will be a democracy. But if the people do not have a voice, no matter how or whoever is at the top, then it may not be a democracy. At best, it will be a civil rule. It's a civilian dictating for us. There are some civilian presidents that are more of dictators than even the military government.
I'll put it to you. We have the closest example.
In our country.
So calm down. We are not going into that right now. But I think the point has been made, and we hope that Africa will look inward and cultivate a kind of democracy that suits us best, not necessarily just copying and pasting whatever has been given to us that we've been blackmailed to take. But that's the much we can take today on this segment. The next one will be to take you to, as it is, Lekki Conservation Centre, LCC, here in Lagos, and it's a beautiful sight to behold. But first of all, we'll look at the weather for this week, and then we go there.
In the heart of Lagos, Nigeria's bustling economic capital, lies a rare pocket of calm and wildness, a sanctuary suspended between the urban sprawl and Atlantic coast. This is the Lekki Conservation Centre, one of West Africa's most important urban nature reserves. Established in 1990 by the Nigerian Conservation Foundation, the centre spans 78 hectares of preserved swamp and savanna habitats, dedicated to the conservation of biodiversity, environmental education, and ecotourism. What makes Lekki Conservation Centre so special is not just its location, but what it preserves. A mosaic of ecosystems that were once common across Nigeria's coastline, now increasingly rare due to urban development. Within its boundaries thrive mangroves, secondary forest, wetlands, and savanna grasslands, each teeming with life. As you step into the center, the noise of the city begins to fade. In its place, you hear the rustle of palm fronds, the distant call of monkeys, and the occasional splash from one of its many water bodies. It is an immersive introduction to Nigeria's natural beauty, a chance to experience the wild without leaving the city. One of the center's most iconic features is its canopy walk, the longest in Africa. Suspended 22 feet above ground, it stretches for over 400 meters, weaving through the treetops and offering a panoramic view of the forest. From its elevated path, visitors encounter the ecosystem from a new perspective. Monkeys leap between branches, birds call from hidden crevices, and the forest breathes all round. Lekki Conservation Centre is also home to a rich array of wildlife. The lucky visitor might spot mona monkeys playing near the walkways, crocodiles lurk in the swamps, while brightly colored birds feed through the forest canopy. Each species plays a role in the delicate balance of this ecosystem, a reminder of the interconnectedness of all life. But the center is more than a refuge for wildlife. It is a classroom without walls. School children visit in droves, learning firsthand about Nigeria's environment and the importance of conservation. Workshops and community outreach programs aim to instill a deeper understanding of nature's value and the role individuals can play in protecting it. In a country grappling with the pressures of rapid urbanization, climate change and environmental degradation, Lekki Conservation Centre stands as a beacon of hope. It represents what is possible when nature is given space to thrive, not as an obstacle to development, but as an essential part of it. More than 3 decades since its founding, the centre continues to evolve. It is a testament to vision, resilience, and the enduring power of nature. For locals and tourists alike, it offers more than just a getaway. It offers a glimpse of a more harmonious future. In the Lekki Conservation Centre, Lagos finds its lungs, and in the quiet sway of trees and the watchful eyes of wild creatures, we are reminded that the wild is not so far away after all.
Oh, well, beautiful place to be. I hate canopy walkways because I'm afraid of heights.
You said that. I think I know that thing about you.
A lot of, yes, I hate that. But apart from that, I love nature.
Have you ever been there?
I've been there. I've also been to the one of Obudu. Yes, and the Boki and all that. I've experienced all those ones. Some places I will never repeat.
Did you experience
have you been to the Lekki Conservation
A monkey literally ambushed me.
Did he take your phone? Did he take your phone or no?
Anyway, let's leave that. But I do hope that families can plan their vacations to go to that place. And if you come to Lagos, a lot of people come to Lagos because of the nightlife. Lagos is not all about nightlife. Lagos life is not all about nightlife.
Don't try nightlife in LCCU. I'm begging you because monkey will carry you. Just saying.
Just go and be one with nature. But I hope, Olamide, you'll be there sometime.
I've actually gone there. Lots of fun stuff to do. I mean, the fact that you get to leave the hustle and bustle of, the outside world, because it's almost, it feels totally different.
World on
Once you leave that express and you're entering into the conservation center,
the serenity, first of all.
Yes, the serenity will just hit you. And then you know that you are one with nature. That's just the feeling you get. It's a wonderful feeling. And if you've not been there, I think you should plan to visit.
But watch out for the crocs, alligators, and especially those little crickets. Some experiences should be kept.
All right. Well, that's the size of our package today. We do hope that you had fun being with us. Next time, we'll bring you something else and something really, really interesting as well. What we do is expose some parts of Africa that you may not even think are important enough for you to be a part of, but just try your best to see how you can get to those places if it is possible. To do your own Hajj to LCC. Do your pilgrimage to LCC and other places that you need to be to, and you'll be glad that you did. God is wonderful, and He created wonderful things for you and I to behold and experience. But like I said, this is where we wrap it up. Olamide.
It's been a beautiful episode. I want to say a very big thank you to everyone who has joined us, from the producer and even to myself. Olamide, thank you. Because if you didn't do what you're supposed to do, the show would not, I'll leave it.
Sure.
Seriously?
Yeah, come on.
I will.
Well, it was nice being here again on the show, and I enjoyed myself a lot. I'm going to pat myself on the back. I will not allow Olamide win me on that. My shoulder pad is very high.
Whatever.
Thank you for having me on the show.
Well, it's a pleasure being here, and we do hope that the next time you will join us again for the show. Until then, stay blessed, stay safe. My name is Nyamgul Agaji.